Lewis Hine was a social reformist and photojournalist born in Oshkosh, Wisconsin in 1874. Hine studied sociology at the University of Chicago, Columbia University, and New York University. He soon became a teacher in New York City at the Ethical Culture School, where he soon began taking his class to Ellis Island in New York Harbor. Here, Hine began photographing thousands of immigrants who arrived each day. Over the course of 5 years, Hine took over 200 photographs and eventually came to the realization that photojournalism could be used as a tool for social change and reform. In 1906, Hine became the staff photographer of the Russell Sage Foundation, an organization that funds and publishes research in the social sciences. Here, Hine photographed life in the steelmaking districts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the influential sociological study called the Pittsburgh Survey. In 1908, he became the photographer for the National Child Labor Committee. Here, Hine began documenting child labor in mills, mines, factories, and farms. During and after World War I, Hine photographed American Red Cross relief work in Europe. In the 1920s and early 1930s, Hine made a series of work portraits emphasizing on human contribution to modern industry. In 1930, Hine was commissioned to document the construction of the Empire State Building. He began photographing positive qualities in life, especially the dignity of labor. From 1930 to 1931, he took hundreds of photos of the Empire State Building during its construction, as well as photographs of laborers themselves. Hine wrote, "Some of them are heroes, all of them persons it is a privilege to know." Hine photographed the workers in dangerous positions while they secured the iron and steel framework of the structure, taking many of the same risks that the workers endured. In order to obtain the best vantage points, Hine had to swing from a specially designed basket 1,000 feet above Fifth Avenue. Out of the many thousand photos taken by Hine, 3 tend to stand out the most. Powerhouse mechanic working on a steam pump. The carefully posed subject, a young man with wrench in hand, is hunched over, surrounded by the machinery that defines his job. But while constrained by the machinery, the man is straining against it with a determined look, an iconic representation of the pride these workers had. Breaker boys. These boys' job was to separate coal from slate. This iconic photo helped sway the public in a way cold statistics could not, helping the country enact laws banning child labor. Lastly, young doffers in the Elk cotton mills. Until child labor was abolished in the U.S. in 1938, many children worked long hours in hazardous factory jobs. Doffers had the dangerous task of replacing spools of thread in a textile mill. This photo helped lead to the abolishment of children in these factories. As he aged, Hine took on smaller projects. Hine began documenting poor families, children street peddlers, and the homeless. Hine's mission was simple: to improve America by exposing its darkest and ugliest covert lifestyles. The last few years of his life were filled with many struggles due to the loss of government and corporate patronage. Few people were interested in his work, and Hine lost his house and soon applied for welfare. He soon died at the age of 66 on November 3, 1940, at Dobbs Ferry Hospital in Dobbs Ferry, New York. Hine will go down in history as one of the most influential photographers of all time. He wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty and expose the corruption in America during this time period. His photos may not have been the prettiest photos one will ever see, but they're right up there with the most influential. He fought hard for the children and their rights every day, and sought the truth even harder. Although a small, frail man standing at 5'5", Hine had the poise and respect of a god with a camera in his hands. Although his popularity faded as he aged, after almost 75 years since his death, Hine's reform work on child labor lives on.